Fan favorite is coming back soon.
Yeah, we're counting down to Nora the polar bear's big return to the Oregon Zoo this spring. And who better to keep us updated than our very own Nora Hart. This morning, she's looking back at Nora's life and how she got to this point.
From precious to playful. You wouldn't know it by looking at the happy, healthy polar bear she is today, but Nora has been through a lot in her 5 years, including a rough start in life.
Nora was born at the Columbus Zoo in Columbus, Ohio, and as happens sometimes, her mother was not taking care of her. And so keepers were faced with sort of the agonizing decision of what to do and decided to intervene and hand raise her.
Not long after that, in the fall of 2016, the Oregon Zoo heard about baby Nora and thought she'd be a good fit to join an older polar bear that was already in Portland, who was recently left alone by the passing of her older brother.
So the idea was to bring her here and have Tassel kind of help teach her to be a bear. Those intros were very scary for Nora, and we were going to take it super slow.
But that didn't go as planned either.
And right about then, we learned that Tassel had a malignant cancer.
Sadly, Tassel died, and Nora was left alone. And though she was surrounded by adoring visitors, that's how she lived in Portland for a while. But hope was on the horizon.
There was another young bear named Hope who was the same age as Nora, but had been mother-reared at another facility. And so the entire group that manages polar bears had been anxiously waiting for the time when that animal, Hope, was ready to leave her mom, that we could get the two of them together.
That meant Nora had to leave her Portland home and make the journey to Utah's Hogle Zoo. That's where she would get acquainted with her new pal, Hope. Nora would go on to spend a few years in Utah. She seemed to get on great with Hope, and she really thrived until...
She did break her leg this last year, which is not unheard of in a young, rambunctious bear. And with the help of some very specialized surgeons, she's recovered just fine.
Now all healed up and under the recommendation of the Association of Zoos and Aquariums Species Survival Plan, Nora is moving back to Portland to enjoy her brand new state-of-the-art exhibit. And that means saying goodbye to her bear friend, Hope.
They are now adult bears, young adults, but adult bears, and ready to go on to their next adventure. Hope's going to another zoo where I believe they're hoping that she might be in a breeding situation. Nora gets to come back here.
By the way, the Hogle Zoo's polar bear exhibit won't be left vacant.
The Hogle Zoo is well set up to be a breeding zoo. The plan for them is for these two young females to leave and for them to bring in an adult male and ideally eventually an appropriate match for him.
As for Nora's future, the zoo says it doesn't look like motherhood is part of the plan.
We are not currently interested in being a breeding facility. We are focusing on the conservation science, which makes Nora the perfect fit for us because she's just the right demographic for what the biologists want to learn about.
And all that time with scientists, keepers, and visitors has made Nora quite the social bear.
So she lets you know exactly how she feels about things. When she was little, she gave a lot of tantrums. As she got older, she would make very definitive statements about what she liked and didn't like, and she's got a lot of personality.
It's something guests at the zoo will see on full display in Nora's brand new Polar Passage exhibit when she arrives back in Portland this spring.